Okay, have I got a surprise? Today we are going on an excursion, on a virtual excursion. So you're with me. I'm going to drive us to the Otways, Gellibrand in the Otways. Beautiful part of Victoria, and we're going to go check out a real live farm, essentially a market garden. In fact, it's a micro farm, which we'll work out pretty soon when we get there. We're going to meet John and Joe, so looking forward to it. Fasten your seatbelts. So we are here in Gellibrand today, in the Otways in Victoria. So an absolute beautiful place in the world. I love it here. And we are with John and Joe of Otway Sown Grown, and on their farm right now. And what a beautiful place it is. So guys, how long have you been here for?
Almost 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you farming before here, or did you?
Yeah, I've worked on lots of different farms, biodynamic farms. I've worked on organic farms, large acreage, like 100 acres or so. Biodynamic apple orchard in Red Hill. I worked on a chard farm on a 45-degree slope up this hill. Lettuce farms.
We had a big permaculture,
I built it,
community kind of style garden. That's the first thing that we did together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, how big is this farm?
2.5 acres.
2.5 acres.
Yeah.
That's tiny. What? Can we actually call that a farm?
For sure. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
We are on a farm.
We're definitely on a farm.
Okay.
A micro farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a market garden.
A market
as well.
garden, a small market garden.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What do you grow here? Like.
Well, my aim is to grow 30 plus vegetables, different vegetables.
Wow. Currently we're in February. What are we growing?
Well, so you can grow beets in February, carrots. I could plant carrots out now for the winter.
Okay.
Just plant them now, and within 12 weeks we'll have a crop ready. Yeah, and so you've got spring onions and radishes. I mean, you've still got summer crops coming through now, like zucchini and squash and beans, and
Tomatoes.
heaps of tomatoes,
cucumbers,
cucumbers,
eggplants. What else?
chilies, capsicums,
Yeah.
rock melon,
Amazing.
and we can grow all that here.
Yep.
Kale. We've got
Kale, plenty
all
of
year
kale.
round.
Yep.
And what you've mentioned is all veggies, but Joe, you've also got fruit trees too, yeah?
Yeah, we were really lucky when we bought this place because it had an established orchard out the back here. So it came with 20 beautiful fruit trees. So some really lovely apple trees and nectarines and peaches and plums are the main ones. We've also got a great fig tree and grapefruit. Since we've been here, we've planted over 50
Yep.
more fruit trees. So we've
Wow.
got pretty much everything. They're starting to produce. Like we've got our first pears now, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
And but we've got all kinds of things. We've got feijoas, we've got mulberries, we've got cherries, we've got
Figs.
olives and almond tree, and lots of types of figs. We've got lots of citrus. There's limes and lemons and grapefruit and yeah, pretty much everything we like to
Wow.
eat we planted.
And all that on
And
2.5 acres.
Yep, and grapes.
Grapes as well.
Yep.
So to give you an idea of 2.5 acres, we might be talking 8 to 12 house blocks,
Yep.
Yeah.
depending on where
Yep.
you live. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not a big area, but as you can see, we've got some amazing food here. So
Yeah.
we might have a bit of a look around and keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So lots of flowers in the garden, in on the farm. Why flower? Like, wouldn't this be productive space for vegetables to grow?
You want the bees, and so you want to look after the bees, and you want to help the bees because they help pollinate all the food. So it's good to have flowers. It puts a smile on your face looking at them, so it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not that good at growing flowers. We're really trying to learn a lot about different flower varieties and everything now. And so this year we just kind of planted everything we could, and we've seen what works and how they work together, and what the bees like. So you can see they absolutely love this lambsia. And yeah, we want to attract the bees, and also it's visually appealing for us. Like it's beautiful to come out here and look at these flowers and attract all other kinds of insects.
A lot of flowers are edible too, aren't they?
Yes.
Like nasturtium, we've got.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can eat everything of the nasturtium, the leaves, the pods, the flowers. Why can't we buy flowers in the supermarket?
Well, one thing, I think they might perish quickly, so it might be hard to organise, figure that out in a way that, you know, they retain their beauty in the shop, so that I don't think they would look too good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you need to use them fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you really need to pick them and have them there.
Sell them on the day.
You sell them on the day, or even just take them inside to your house and put them in a salad.
So, you mentioned before, no dig. What's this? I've heard it a few times, but no dig. It relates to regenerative farming practices. Is that right?
Pretty much, you know, what you're just saying there. No dig. It's just you just don't dig the soil. You know, you don't get in there with a tractor. You don't get in there with a fork or a shovel. Or
Isn't that the hard part of farming?
it definitely is the hard part of farming. Yeah. If you farm like that, would be hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is like the lazy man's or the lazy woman's option of farming. Is that right?
Well, in that regard, yes, I'd say it is. but it's more. I think it's more sensible not to touch the soil, to leave it alone, not disturb all the creatures that live in the soil. The soil has.
It's full of life.
It's full of life. It's got many organisms living in the soil, and I think if you disturb their habitat and their homes, it's not. I don't think it's good for the soil. I think it's good to just leave it as much as you can, and the most important thing you can do for the soil, I think, is to put compost on the soil to protect the soil. So in a sense, you're protecting the homes of all the soil and all the soil life, and I think that is a really important thing.
And you can think about covering the soil like putting a skin on it. So like on our bodies, we need a skin to protect all of our cells underneath and everything. The earth needs a cover, and that's why weeds grow and everything. They want to protect the soil, and then everything that's living underneath is happy and healthy. And if you have healthy soil, then your plants will be healthy. You don't need to add fertilizers, you don't need to add amendments and things like that, because things just want to grow, because it's a whole system that works together. So the waste from decaying material feeds those little microorganisms, and then they give the nutrients to the plants. And then also another really important element is fungi, which is something that we're starting to learn more about now. So there's this, what they call a symbiotic relationship between plants and certain types of fungi, and they exchange nutrients, and it's really important for healthy plants. And covering the soil like we do really creates a good environment for that fungi to live.
So what we're talking about is one big cycle of life, really. It's the nutrient replacement of soil. The vegetable grows in the soil, it takes on nutrients, you eat the nutrients, or any animals eat the nutrients. If the animal poos it out like a worm, then it's back in the soil. So it's a big nutrient cycle.
It is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And is this the same for all, like I'm guessing this is not just for veggie growing or for farming, but for all gardening, yeah?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah, totally. It's all this cycle. And one of the really, really good things for kids to know about gardening and how important it is and growing food is that it's a really good way to bring carbon out of the atmosphere and put it back into the ground.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, so that's really important, and we're on a bit of a mission to try and, you know, do as much of that carbon sequestration as we can, plant as many trees. I think everybody should be planting trees. One of the biggest things we can do to help combat climate change.
Amazing. This soil or compost or what, mulch, what do we call it?
Compost, yeah. You can put up to 8 inches on top of your soil. It's like a protection layer, it just protects the soil. And it has no seed in it because it's been composted down, so it eliminates sort of weed pressure as well, which I think is really important, because you want your garden to look nice.
And you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours weeding.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to use chemicals to kill the weeds either.
Yeah, that's right. You can plant directly into this, and you know, as you can see, like that's wet.
Yeah, right. So how often do we put it on?
Every 2 years you could put 8 inches on of compost on the beds, and you can get numerous crops on this, and depending on the weather, it sometimes will wash it away, it'll just run off, and it'll just sort of gradually decrease over the 2 year period until you top it up.
So Joe, it's fair to say your small parcel of land, small yet growing so much, but it's so productive and so healthy. How do you think farming and gardening fits in with physical health of human beings? Like, obviously,
I think everybody should be doing it. It's like, I do other work as well. So John is full-time running the garden. He does the bulk of the work, and I help as much as I can. Not only, you know, for our business, but also because I just find the personal benefits are huge. I just feel good when I come out here, and I love getting dirty, getting my hands in the dirt, planting things. It's nothing more satisfying than growing food. Like growing something from seed to harvesting it and eating it. Like at the moment, especially this time of year, because there's just this incredible abundance. We're eating everything out of the garden. Like we can't keep up with the harvesting, and so that's really satisfying. But also, it's just really physically good for you. You know, you get a bit sweaty, do some exercise, you get strong, and it's good in every way.
yeah. So, John, you mentioned that you grow from seed. I think from what Joe said before as well, you actually harvest your seeds and then propagate, and then so it's all happening on your property.
Yep, I harvest with soil blocks, and that's an example of a soil block there.
Amazing. So, what do you buy them? Do you make them?
Yeah. I make them with a soil blocking machine.
Okay.
And first you plant a little soil block, like so, and then you put it inside the bigger soil block. And it's the soil block version of potting on. So that's really great, because no plastic containers with these. But you can't use them for everything, but for what I can use them for, I do. And I'll plant that directly into the ground, and that's from seed. And then when it's fully grown, we'll harvest it.
So, John, once a vegetable's grown, but you leave it in the ground too long, it goes to seed.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. So what, like, I've seen a few things on your property that have gone to seed.
Yes.
Then what?
Brown. So like coriander, for instance, it'll go brown. So you can just cut that off at the roots, cut that off at the base of the plant, and then I hang it upside down in my shed.
Yep.
And you've got, and then all you have to do after that is just you have to process it. So you have to strip the seed off the plant and put it into a little jar, and then you've got your seed for.
So you're collecting seed, propagating seed in here.
Yep.
And raising that.
That's exactly right.
All right, John, we're nearly finished up. It's been so amazing to see everything that you and Joe have achieved here in such a little time. Before we do finish, can you tell us a few tips about how anyone could go out and start a garden or a farm or just growing food or plants in general?
Yeah, I think plant something. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Just plant something and see how it goes. You've got all the time in the world. So, just see how it goes and learn from everything you're doing.
Awesome.
Question what you're doing. And I think those three things will set you straight.
Yeah.
There's no failure. It's quite all right. I mean, if a plant dies, that's okay. It's a part of life. It's a part of nature. And so you're not doing anything wrong. You're just learning. You're learning how to grow things and feed yourself and your family.
Amazing. What a great lesson in life, gardening in general. It's an amazing place to be and amazing activity to do. So can't recommend it enough. Get out there and garden. So John, thank you so much for today. It's been great to be out here in Gellibrand.
Yep.
And love what you're doing. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, cool.
Beautiful.